jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know the first in the building is Tyrese on deck. What it do, Dixon? I see you, man. On deck. Yes, I did. Appreciate it. I did. Carlos Rosado is in the building. Appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? WCS salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. Appreciate you, big dog. Honor Brown on deck. Yes, sir. This is another Hot Grease Chronicles, EP 239. I have to start off the year 2024 and keep y'all nice and cozy. You know what I'm saying? With an entree of steady Errol Spence fish fry. I have to continue to change out the oil and put fresh oil and continue to cook what was caught. July 29th. I'm going to drop something that may hurt some feelings that I know that haven't been said yet, because the individuals that's out here that have these sources and everything, they may not have individuals that's willing to give them the true information. And I'm going to let my chat know first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Unbreaking news. You know what I'm saying? But first, let's get to what's been going around out here on the YTC. Some of y'all have been extremely perturbed that I have started up the Hot Grease Chronicles again, and you feel like I'm picking on Errol Spence Jr. No, I'm not picking. I just wish I would have been in that 3-month window. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just wish I would have been somewhere in the 3-month window when he was feeling vulnerable for somebody to start talking sideways to put a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? I could have, you know, I mean, I'm already retired, but it's nothing like trying to retire again. All I would have did was just ask him, you know, that one question. You know what I'm saying? Why the excuses, Earl? That's all I would have asked him. Why the excuses, though? You got people out here advocating for you, and you don't advocate for them there, Earl. We have now come to a conclusion, because I want to call it conclusion because I'm trying to, you know, leave the shit alone. But we haven't come to a conclusion because it was put out there that Errol Spence himself said he had been cleared for a shot. Also, he's put out there that he's known about his cataracts 3 years ago. Also, he put out there that the cataracts got so bad that he had to have an operation. All that's cap. You know what I'm saying? And you know why Errol Spence is where he's at right now? Because PBC is still trying to figure out what's going on, you know, with this fight schedule. They're trying to find out who's gonna freaking finance this fight. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have all the acting that's going on. You have all the distractions, the puppetizing of the media. PBC don't have a fight schedule out. They can't sit up here and have these, they already got a contract signed. But behind the scenes, a lot that y'all don't know, they don't know who's going to freaking put this fight on. Because it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought just to go up here and arrange, fights. Somebody else's platform that ain't having that bullshit that went on when they was linked up with Fox and Showtime. If you really want to know the true story, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to know the true story, all this capping going on and coming up with all this injury, somebody got to be the puppet. Why not the fall guy? Yeah, why not the fall guy? See, if you look at this right here, this is something that I found out that Spence is suffering from. This is called acute canvas spinal inflammation. He had that ever since July 29, 2023. You are here looking at newly released photos from WCS himself of Errol Spence's spinal region with him holding his left glute. This is called acute spinal inflammation, which was received July 29th when Terrence Bud Crawford was connecting with an intrusive barrage of punches that causes Errol Spence to hit the canvas and sit on his ass. And that caused his spinal region to inflame. Initially, when I saw this shit taking place, I say, the only person I could think about that's fighting in this condition was Mike Tyson. All I needed was just Jim Gray to know that his spinal region was inflamed and asking. I would have loved to hear Spence say, I broke my back. What do you mean, Earl? You broke your back? Spinal. So you have a broke back? Spinal. My back is broken. And I thank the doctor who's allowed me to release these photos right here. It clearly shows how red Errol Spence's spinal region is and also how sore his left gluteus maximus is. You know what I'm saying? When he was being knocked down by Terrence Crawford. Right? This is the clearest picture you're going to get of Errol Spence. Also, I was able to get this picture. This is when they actually, remove the entire skeletal system from Spence because they're trying to rebuild him, y'all. This is new improved Area 59 type shit. This is actual photos of the skeletal system, the exoskeletal system removed from the skin, okay? Tendons, ligaments, all that. This is a exoskeleton removed and showing where he possibly had the shots because people are saying that he didn't have sparring. You know what I'm saying? He was unable to train properly, even though he's running up Mount Charles. This is the exoskeleton. Those are the fractures that Errol Spence possibly have faced. And damn, I'm impressed. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me want to be a doctor. For them to pull this out and actually show us firsthand and release these pictures. I truly appreciate the doctor who was allowed to present me with this information. I appreciate you. But if you've never seen a rib cage pulled out of a live human, this is it right here. From what I heard, they was able to replace the entire rib. They got Amazon Prime, who's freaking going to be the app that's associated with PBC. They was able to ship them FedEx. From what I hear, they gave him the PVC ribs. You know what I'm saying? It's made of PVC, the kind of flexible freaking material that you put in plumbing and stuff. They replaced his rib cage like that. So now, just like titanium rods and plates, you can hit Arrow in the ribs right now. His shit's gonna flex on you and come back. Shit ain't breaking no more. I just thought I want to break that to y'all, man, because I don't think I've ever seen a fighter, you know what I'm saying, go through this type of procedure and be able to have his whole rib cage replaced. Now, one thing we do understand now, he attempted to try to get a facelift. You know what I'm saying? A whole freaking reconstructive and come in as a different person, and they turned that down. You know, PBC said, no, we're not going to freaking finance that shit. We're not going to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to pay for that. He wanted to come in as one of the old school fighters. He's going to try to fool somebody that he was an old school fighter returning to fight Crawford. And so that may bring more fans to the freaking seats. That may convince people to put their money on them if he came in with somebody else and they still announced him under Errol Spence Jr. Let's just say, for instance, he tried to come in like Tommy Hearns. You know what I'm saying? People going to say, oh, shit. Is it just me? He looked like Tommy Hearns. Damn, that's one of my favorite fighters, dog. It's Sugar Ray Leonard. Damn, that's Sugar? Damn. You know, some to that extent. You get the picture. You know what I'm saying? But PBC wouldn't approve it and put it in the budget. They said, no, we're not approving that expense. So the only thing he was able to get is he got his ribs changed out. You know what I'm saying? And also what I did learn, information that just came in, they was able to replace that right eye with a bionic eye. So what the bionic eye does is allow him to pretty much see punches before Crawford even flinches to throw him. The bionic eye allows Errol Spence to see what Crawford is thinking. You know what I'm saying? And basically how the pinging process works neurologically, he's able to see what the thought is, the time it's going to take to get there. Amazing, amazing technology. I'm going to leave it right there. Amazing technology, period. Just amazing technology. So let's get down to the wickets. Shout out to Juice on deck. I see you. This is strange because I saw one of Spence's sparring partners on a live stream and never mentioned his rib injury. The Spence camp said he was knocking out heavyweights. Oh, interesting. You know, I talked to one of his sparring partners too on the interview before I even did the interview, and I asked him straight up about, you know, what was up with the sparring. He said he was one of his sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? He said he was one of his sparring partners. That was Quentin Randall. He said he was one of his sparring partners. Had Spence won the fight, he wouldn't have heard none of this at all. He better off not fighting Bud again, or it's going to even get worse with his diminishing win. I totally agree with you, man. And my whole point for, you know, putting the hot grease back out there on Spence, because it's just, it seems like he's just really lost it now. Like he's lost it to a point where he's trying to get all this attention knowing it's bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to come up. You can tell he's everywhere now. He's so contradicting. I did a live on how he's so contradicting. He allowed people to sit up here and say he was weight drained. But yet he's going to come out and say it was an eye injury, a pre-existing eye injury. Not something that just occurred in the last couple of weeks in December. But this is something that he said he had prior to July 29th. I can't respect that. I can't respect that at all. I can't expect that. That's a little bit too much chicanery going on. You know what I'm saying? It's too much BS going on with that. See, if Errol would have just stayed quiet, but then he came out, and this, check out this window, right? Check out this window. And Shaw News mentioned this earlier, right? Check out this window, though. This is what I can't respect. You said you was vulnerable enough to catch a lawsuit, but you wasn't vulnerable enough to go get eye surgery after the fight? For 3 months on your lying ass, you said you was vulnerable enough for somebody to talk sideways so you can catch a lawsuit. Once again, this lying ass nigga up here talking about he was vulnerable for 3 months, but yet it didn't dawn on him to maybe go into get a consult done, get an examination of your eye. You know why he didn't get an examination? Because his eye, that's all cap, man. He's being dishonest, man. He's lacking integrity. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear what you did after the freaking fight. I don't want to hear about all the concessions that you gave Crawford. I don't want to hear about none of that shit. I don't want to hear people up there talking, but he came to the presser with no shades on. Shit. The shades probably was goddamn too sore to fit on that cranium. You know, to fit on that goddamn facial composition. You know what I'm saying? Things wasn't looking the way it's supposed to do. You know, for him to wear shades back there, it might have been a little bit too sore. But getting back to the integrity issue. How do you want the quality of your fan base to improve if, for one, you're silent on their support? They are here running loosely, just running reckless through the motherfucking woods, slamming themselves off pine trees, running into traffic, bouncing off car bumpers. How do you expect to gain control over this, Errol Spence? And you said nothing to them. You said nothing. And then we're waiting and waiting. Okay. We get to the New Year's. Okay. Now it's 2024. We're waiting and waiting. Nothing. And then you come out with all this nonsense, man. You come out with such nonsense that Crawford said no comment. How can you feel so vulnerable after the fight with an eye injury that you knew prior to July 29th that you didn't take your ass into the doctor? You didn't even give a damn about taking your ass into the doctor. You want to come out here once again with an eye patch. No, man. Not only did you play yourself, but people are going to look at that fight and they're going to look at your fan base in disgust. Because you had your fans out here just coming up with random fucking topics like they mentally retarded. That's what they was doing out here, Errol, when you was in silence, bro. You was in the shadows chilling because you got your paycheck. You was punching a passport. I ain't mad at none of that. But as I said on Facebook, I say, when you want to talk about mitigating the situation, trying to calm it down, no, you allowed your fans to get out here and look like clowns, man. You was loving that they was up here pushing these narratives on Crawford for being a drug cheat. We hear Beterbiev, you know, he had an atypical finding, which consists of Accusation testosterone, right? I don't see y'all jumping on that. I don't see y'all highlighting that, something that actually happened. We haven't heard of any atypical findings from Terrence Crawford. But we have found out from Errol Spence that he is also a part of Team Ryan Garcia with Mr. Capion. We have found out that, Errol, because you have made it perfectly clear that you have other shit on your mind for a long time. You have put the Nevada State Athletic Commission on notice. You have pretty much said they passed you knowing that you had a cataract, an acute cataract, freaking right pupil. You know what I'm saying? Your whole entire eye was filled with goddamn cataracts. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to say that the Nevada State Athletic Commission allegedly knew about this and allowed you to fight? They allowed you to fight and possibly ruin your career because they sent you in there with a monster. They sent you in there with a monster that had 2 eyes to your 3. See, I pay attention to all that shit. You had the advantage going in there. You had 3 freaking eyes. They say the third eye can see better than the other 2 that you was born with. That's what they said. But then come back around, full circle. You say you had cataracts. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. You know why? Because you did nothing about it after the fight. You was worrying about going over there at a goddamn quick trip trying to knock out some bums behind the store that haven't even ate a good meal in a long time. They just been out there looking for some black and miles and looking for you to give them some change. You wanted somebody to say something sideways. I wish you would have walked out a quick trip and a bum was, hey, you got your motherfucking ass whooped, nigga. I wish you would have goddamn provided that bum with a new lifestyle. Because I guarantee you would have goddamn whooped his ass. He would have seen you in court. He would have been looking spiffy that day. He would have been dressed to impress that day while he's suing the hell out your black ass. And I would have been right there. Your Honor, can I take the stand, please? I just have something to say. Your Honor, I think you should award this bum a lot more money than what he's getting because of the negligence demonstrated by Errol Spence Jr. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hold on for a second. I say, Your Honor, you know, that the negligence, absolute negligence that Errol Spence shown by not going to get his eye checked out, first of all, right? And then to basically take out his frustration on innocent bystanders, Your Honor. Innocent bystanders. People who supported the sport. He is a professional fighter in the sport. With that sport comes wins and losses. Errol Spence was destroyed July 29th. Therefore, he couldn't take it out on Crawford because the referee kept giving him the motherfucking hug and serenade. Stop the fight. You know what I'm saying? Stop the fight. Jamel Charlo couldn't even console him. To the point where nobody in your circle could console you. Nobody in your circle could console you from being vulnerable for 3 months while you was punching your passport, nigga. Is that what you trying to tell me, Spence? While you was punching, y'all always want to talk about money over there. It's money, money, money. But they say money don't always make you happy. You got paid millions upon millions of dollars, and you was looking to take your frustration out on innocent bystanders. I get it. I get it. Yeah, Quinn Randall, no doubt. Miguel, what's good? What's good? Salute to you. That's what I can't respect, though. You know what I'm saying? I just can't respect the lead up to the fight, knowing that he knew about this. It's a lot of goofy stuff that you did for a fight on your level that shouldn't happen. And it's a direct reflection of your coach. It doesn't make any sense to nobody there, Errol, that you went about it the way you did. You had from April 16th to July to lose weight. You say you come over to Vegas. Crawford has already did a pre-camp already. Camp. You're coming over there from a fucking heat wave. I remember this. I pay attention to Spence. You said when you came over there for the Frank Martin fight that you just decided to stay over there instead of going back to Texas and going back and forth. That wasn't what you planned on doing. You decided to stay over there because Frank Martin fight was over there. So when you stayed over there, however the conversation went, y'all decided to go run up a big fucking hill in the heat. You know how that looked on your bullshit ass fans? It's because if you was weight drained and you was just, you know what I'm saying, you was that dude, you look pretty decent running up that hill. I ain't gonna lie, you look pretty decent. You look like you wasn't weight drained. It looked like you wasn't weight drained, bro. When the news broke heading up to the weigh-in, they said Crawford had missed weight. Nobody mentioned anything about you missing weight. The little sorry ass rumor that came out that Crawford missed weight, like they always do a big fight. Oh man, let's be the first to release it. They didn't say anything about Spence missing weight. And then you came in at 147 with a coin toss that you lost. It was a whole lot of shit that you did, that you was a part of, that didn't go your way. Now, I don't know if that's, one of your higher ups, you know what I'm saying, who you worship that was giving you signs. But you allowed Crawford to have a coin toss, which you didn't win. You gave him the money that y'all bet when you limped in with a measly 100,000, and Crawford said, let's bet $1 million. So he raised you 900,000. That didn't look good on you. That didn't look good. Then you make weight. You show up to the arena. Your fans are eager. I don't blame them. While Crawford supporters were sitting here eating on the best premium fish, freshly caught. Fresh goddamn hot grease. We were sitting here chilling like, okay, let me see what Crawford gonna come to the ring, because we know Spence walking first. We knew Spence walked first. Spence came out, and all the excuses start coming. Sound like some motherfucking newborn owls and shit. His eyes look sleepy. His eyes look sleepy. The excuses start to come out already. He gets into the ring, but comes out with a legend, and he has some subliminals, by wearing fishnets on his uniform. How dare he have those things on his shorts and shoes? Came into the ring, split the ropes, and I can only imagine what those arrows looking at when both fighters was in the ring. Crawford coming there looking like a throwback retro fighter from back in the day, like goddamn Joe Frazier up in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And Spence is over there like he about to do an Ambien commercial. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. No, he looked fine. He looked fine. Okay. And then Derrick James was back there, goddamn, swiping flies and shit, shadow boxing. You know what I'm saying? Punching the turnbuckle. You know what I'm saying? Slipping his own freaking imaginary freaking shadow. Doing the usual Derrick James shit. Doing some knee high, knee ups and all that. Running in place. Just doing some little exercise calisthenics while they was reading off the fighters, introduction. Then they answered the bell. This is when the aerosexuals knew that they was about to witness something special, y'all. Real talk, they was about to witness something super special. They just didn't know it would be Errol Spence getting his ass kicked. See, the Crawford fans understood it was going to be something extremely dynamic, special. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a thriller. But they didn't think it was going to be the Michael Jackson Thriller when it came to Errol Spence facial transformation. Like whoever was doing makeup on July 29th, goddamn it, send them a super chat right now. That means on top of what Crawford freaking made on that night, they owe him some extra for him putting on that goddamn Thriller makeup. I started to say, where's the cameraman? Where's the camera crew? They need to come in here and film Thriller again. They got so many Michael Jackson impersonators out there. Well, where is he? Can y'all throw like a Beat It jacket on Arrow right quick? Where the speaker at? What an impersonator. Get over here, man. We about to do this. The first boxing Thriller video inside the ring. The fight's over with. The fight's over with in the second round. There was no way that they thought this man was going to take over the momentum. It was going to be a shift in what we was watching. Shout out, Jessica. I see you in the building. You understand? If y'all in the building, y'all just peeping, hit the like button. I know y'all love when I do the high grease. I know y'all love it, but y'all won't hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? You peeping toms. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that just posted up outside just listening. I get it. But let me get back to this hot grease. Y'all had to know that in the second round it was over. Because for Crawford to do this while they was both fresh, I mean, the writing was on the canvas, not on the wall. The writing was on the canvas. The blood red color that you seen began to show itself in that crimson mass in the second round. You got to ask yourself, God damn, how does this fight, how does it change? How does Errol Spence regain the momentum? How does he come up with some type of adjustment? And as we know it in hindsight, it was damn near impossible for him to come with an adjustment because he wasn't properly trained to make those adjustments. He had a trainer who felt like looking at film of Terrence Crawford wasn't priority. It wasn't a priority. So as the fight kept going on and on, I swear to God, I'm just eating an all-you-can-eat shrimp basket. You know what I'm saying? I had my catfish of choice, and I'm looking at the fight. I'm like dipping my shrimp on some cocktail sauce. I'm looking at Errol Spence's face turn red. I kind of lost my taste. I said, God damn it. Ugh. The cocktail sauce started looking like Errol Spence's face. For real. I was like, And then I broke off a cat. Let me get to the catfish. I'm going to save that shrimp for later. I dipped it in the ketchup and looked back at the teeth. I said, oh, shit. I feel like I'm eating a part of freaking Spence's face. It seemed like it's falling off. You know how fish be flaking up after you put them in the hot grease? Motherfucking skin be flaking off sometimes. You don't use enough flour. And you don't put enough egg in there, rather. You know what I'm saying? You don't have enough egg and the crust be coming off. That's what I was feeling that was going on, bro. Spence kept getting off the canvas. And all along, we had his fans in attendance. I mean, I'm talking about big name fans, too. Big name fans. I'm not saying Crawford didn't have fans there. But man, goddamn Errol Spence had some big names, some top dogs, and you know, Jerry Jones. Yes, Jerry Jones, the one who disallowed Errol Spence during the press conference at the Cowboys facility to even say Terrence Crawford's name. And we thought the Django was just a freaking movie. That shit was real life. He didn't goddamn have you better not utter his name in my facility, or else I won't be attending your fight. And that's that. I've helped you out long enough. It's about time you repay me. I paid for everything else when you Loso Campo. Okay? I'm waiting for you to get me my compensation. And Jerry Jones is waiting on July 29, 2023. That's when he came back there. The smile was big, teeth was showing, grinning ear to ear. But they just didn't see that motherfucking tragedy lying awake. Yes, sir. Rounds kept on going. Boom, the seventh round. Down goes Spence. Down goes Spence. Down goes the fighter who loved living out of pocket. He said that. I heard him. I was right there. You know what I'm saying? I was right there, just soaking it all in. Enjoyed the moment in Beverly Hills. Even though they tried to finesse me out my media. I'm smarter than that. They tried to finesse me out of my spot by trying to start some unnecessary drama. But I heard him say that. You know what I'm saying? I heard him. He loved living out of pocket. And when Terrence Crawford just uttered the taking the belt off, the old school terminology, he said, ain't you effing kid? Take your belt off on me. I mean, look, his ego was so heavy. He thought he was still in the red hoodie, y'all. He still looked at Crawford with this type of visual, man. Like he was some small nigga. You know how you see a person's, you know what I'm saying? They have a magnifying glass up to them, or they have some bifocals on. Let's just look at the bifocals, and their eyes look very small, like they're smaller than the natural, normal size that they was born with, right? He just looked at Crawford as being a little dude. And then when you got Diddy James next to him, not giving him any input except who is he fault, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stupidity that was going on prior to this fight. But when the 7th round hit, and look, for all his effort, when he got up from those 2 knockdowns, they went into the 8th. And I seen Terrence Crawford get him a motherfucking community round, a philanthropy round. He gave him the 8th round. He carried him, y'all. He tried his best to carry him to the money round to get people paid. He had to carry him past the 8th. La da 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 da. Okay. Damn, that was a long 3 minutes right there. Bomac, you tell them to go turn the showers on? Okay. 9th round, he just came out and pummeled. He attempted to pummel. He attempted to execute his savagery on Errol Spence and let him know, I'm going in for the KILL. Harvey Dock said, no, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Respectfully, Errol, relax. I cannot allow you to go any further. Calm down. That's what Harvey Dock said. That was a high stakes fight, y'all. And this is what I was pissed off about to Bud for. This was a high stakes prize fight. And Crawford went in there and just decimated the rematch. I guess in Crawford's mind, he was more so looking to Canelo. He's like, I really don't care if I fight him. It's a good paycheck or whatever. But when his fans kept poking the monster, Crawford probably had a lot of shit on his mind. You know, people having to prove himself his whole life and had people just talking mad reckless about him. He ain't fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? Devaluing his freaking undisputed. Man, can you imagine the amount of weight, the onus that he had resting? You know what I'm saying? In his psychological dominion? Do you know what that onus weight was? To have all these clowns say all this shit as if this man ain't nothing. He's looking back at his career. He say, what? Do you know what I've done? And you're trying to say I ain't fought nobody. Sean Porter was on his way out. Kell Brook was damaged. For Errol Spence to go up there and say, yeah, and Kell Brook was done when I did it. Now Kell Brook was done from Gennady Golovkin. So, okay. So it was Crawford's time to fight the pound for pound unified champion of the welterweight division, and he went in there and made it look too freaking easy. He destroyed people's hope and confidence. He destroyed their ability for them to have a safeguard to say, you know what, let's vote in making this fight happen. They wouldn't vote. They said, no, we can't do this rematch this year. They can't do it, man. We can't do it. Come on, we got to do it. No. Showtime's like, nope, we ain't doing that shit. We ain't doing that shit, man. There's no need for us to put on this fight back in 2023. That's the only knock. I would have said, Crawford, finesse they ass, Crawford. Take him through another goddamn 3 rounds, Crawford. Just finesse the situation. The fight ain't nowhere close. You got 3 knockdowns already, man. This is heading to the 9th, man. You way ahead in the fight. There's no way he's coming back. Finesse it so you can save lives. I don't think Crawford was really thinking about saving lives. But I can tell you somebody who was thinking about saving their life, and that was freaking Errol Spence, though. How can you come out now after what you've been through with supposedly two of the best fighters in the welterweight division there, Errol? How can you continue to not give this man his entire glory? How can you continue not to let his torch burn properly? You continue to try to put out his flame like, bro, he earned that. He beat you fair and square. Not only did he beat you, but all the people that you were saying that wasn't shit on his resume, they had a better performance than you did, Spence. How does that experience happen? How did you not understand that the territory that you were sharing on July 29th, you didn't assess the threat? Nigga, you couldn't assess the threat. It was nothing out of Crawford's history that could have prepared you to assess the threat. I mean, was your ego that big to the point where you say, hey, I don't see it, bro. Hey, Diddy, I don't see him beat me. I know, I don't see him either. But for real, Diddy, I don't see it. I know, I don't watch. You gonna watch some film? No, we don't need to watch no film on him. Scooby-Doo. They didn't need to watch film on him, dog. They did not need to watch film on that monster. How does that work, man? Real talk. How do you not want to properly prepare for Bud? But now you coming out with all these freaking excuses for a lack of preparation. It's all your fault. You take the liability, Spence. You know why you take the liability? Because you was braggadocious about living outside of pocket. So when you ballooned up in weight all that time and your body got tougher and tougher to shed those pounds, you start getting old in your 30s, and you decide to homestead at 147 pounds. You decided to homestead all those years. You was calling Crawford's name when you had no other choice but to call his name. Prior to that, you was calling out Canelo Alvarez. You wanted to go up there and fight him. What the effing were you thinking? Canelo would have canceled your career. Canelo, I'm glad he didn't get the credit for July 29th. I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad another fighter by the name Crawford, another black man at that, who you all set up here and ran a smear campaign on. I'm glad he was the one that's able to enjoy this part of history, because now we're seeing the true you come out. You know what I'm saying? But see, your fans thought you was going to go in there and perform like 24 karat gold, but you ended up being sterling silver. Not even that. You end up being plastic picnic wear. You know what I'm saying? You can't throw gold over plastic and expect it not to crack. You can't do that. You were coming up with excuses just like your fans was coming up with excuses. I mean, we want to talk about one of the best circus in town. One of the best circus in town when it comes to the entertainers of that circus. You all sat up here and ran a smear campaign on this dude, and then he comes out and he's telling people the opposite of what you all was putting out there. Y'all kept running about weight drain, just like you was saying that Bud Crawford was moving funny. Y'all sounding funny because you was saying it was weight drain, but Errol was saying it's cataracts. Can you get cataracts in your bloodstream? Can cataracts form in the arteries? Is it somewhat like having clogged arteries or something like that? What the fuck are we talking about? Can cataracts, somehow make it down your nasal passage and into your stomach lining? What? Can it burn ulcers in your stomach? What are we talking about? You say he was weight drained, and he say he had cataracts. And the crazy part about it, he has now admitted to knowing about this condition all the way back near the Danny Garcia fight. But you all was up here talking about absolute stupidity and ignorance and saying, oh, in order for him to get ready for Errol Spence Jr., he had to get on the snack program. And then he was too scared to fight Errol Spence last year. You know what I'm saying? He had to go fight. I mean, in 2022, he had to go fight David Avanesian. He was too scared. He didn't want no smoke. And then when the negotiations are basically made public, we hearing all these concessions that Crawford was given by Errol Spence. All these freaking corn flip? What? Corn flip? Were y'all trying to give Crawford the orders? Because y'all fucked up. You could have got somebody with 20 years experience in the military to give him the orders. I could have presented him the orders. I would have dressed up in uniform and everything. I would have went to his goddamn door, put my heels together. Crawford, I'm here to deliver this package, and it reads as follows. I would have made my own freaking revisions on the way up there too. Whatever you do on the July 29th, please don't make it look too easy, okay? We're trying to get the rematch in the same year. I guess Crawford said, you know what, that shit fell on deaf ears. Him, Bomac, Red Spike, and Esau said, we're going to do our own thing. And they went in there and destroyed the man. Now the rematch, we don't know when the fuck that's happening. We don't know when the fuck that's happening, bro. But let's go back to the precondition. Like, he knew about the shit while his naysayers, his fan base was up there saying that Errol Spence was going through all these other, weight drain, and Crawford was cheating and had loaded gloves. Even Derrick James, knowing he was on camera, Diddy James felt the glove of Crawford. Now, this is an even more fucked up scenario, right? If you know you didn't prepare properly for Crawford, assessing him as a dangerous opponent, and you're going to touch and squeeze his glove as if to say, I want to relive Billy Collins' era of Panama Lewis and freaking Luis Resto. You want to take the coward way out too, because you know you didn't properly prepare for Crawford. So you know the cameras are rolling and you try to fill his fucking gloves. And the wildest part about it, that 2 years that you and Errol wasn't communicating, you're trying to tell me when you was doing mitt drills, he never told you about his eye? You trying to tell me your fighter never conversed with you about him having fucked up cataracts in his eye while you was doing mitt drills and he couldn't see? Now I'm thinking the shit you did at the open workout might have been on purpose. Because I think the shit was going on in the gym and you knew it was, and it just became a natural way of doing the mitts. You knew, 3, 4, 5, 6 times he was going to get slapped in the right side of his face because he had cataracts. And then you kind of forgot that you wasn't in Texas no more, and you up there doing all that goddamn wild shit, trying to dance and shit, be the lead dancer, and you goddamn slap that motherfucker on camera. I'm telling you, man, that shit's fucked up, bro. That shit fucked up. Real talk. I'm not really trying to insult, EJ, but you come out here and you knew about a condition way back at Danny Garcia, and I'm sitting here listening to the YTC criticize Crawford for all his opponents, right? But they was up here praising Errol Spence for fucking up Danny Garcia's face. They was praising him for being the rib and the eye collector for Yadina's Ugas. He's up here getting a mouthpiece, a gum shield, right? Made with a fish and then the other one with the eye. He was really feeling what they was talking about on this social media shit. Errol Spence felt that shit, bro. He thought it was for real. To the point where he got the eye on the mouthpiece. I don't think Diddy James or Errol Spence understood who they was fucking with. I don't think they understood the severity of their actions fucking with this guy. You talking about a dude who continued to say he had to prove himself his entire life. You know what I'm saying? Now he's having the biggest fight of his career, and Errol says, I'm gonna break him like Kunta, and the crowd, look, and the people that was in attendance start laughing. Laugh now, bleed later. That's exactly what happened. Laugh now, bleed later. Can you imagine what Crawford was going through his head when he said, get active? That was a lot of shit these fools and these clowns was up here talking about. Real talk. They kept on talking about shit. And Errol comes out with something that's absolutely opposite of the narrative that they was pushing. They said the man was weight drained, but yet he said he had cataracts. Not only did he have cataracts, the man knew for years. That's his own words. And then not only that, y'all, WCS came up with another possible scenario that can pretty much might benefit Spence. You want to hear it? Peep this. What if he actually had a rib injury? Check this out now. Imagine if he really did have a rib injury because they didn't want McAlooey to pop him in his mother effing eye again. So Diddy James was up there doing sparring, and they was just doing body conditioning. They was just going to the body, shots to the body. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to break up Spence because he need his eyes. What if his eye was really fucked up in fight camp, and they was and most of his sparring was going to the body just for conditioning? All I'm trying to do is provide this man with a pinhole of light. A pinhole, y'all. I'm trying to provide him a pinhole of oxygen because this dude is drowning right now. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to do is hand out these sack lunches with bologna and cheese sandwiches, an apple slice, and a freaking Capri Sun because that's all they fucking deserve. The bullshit y'all did. And then for Spence to come out here and don't even co-sign nothing. He doesn't co-sign not one part of what you all was on here accusing Terrence Crawford of doing. He didn't co-sign not one accusation. None of y'all talked about cataracts. But at least WCS gave you one possible scenario as to how his eye potentially may have been preserved to go in there and fight Crawford. And that is because they was fucking him up to the body. You know what I'm saying? Maybe allegedly Marvelous Jarvis, during the time he was making his rounds on the YTC, he had been in there getting that work in, improving his freaking comedic skills and applying that to the ring. Maybe he tightened up. I'm serious. Maybe Marvelous Jarvis was in there goddamn landing some hammers. And they didn't want Spencer getting punched in the face, so they were just going to the body. And going to the body, somebody, if he was in there sparring heavyweights, if Anthony Joshua, you remember when I made a joke? I love that Anthony Joshua was in there. I hope Spencer sparring. Y'all remember when I said that shit? What if Anthony Joshua was in there? I said, yeah, go ahead. Let Anthony Joshua punch you and shit and take that heavyweight goddamn power so you can be looking like you just left the liquor store when you do your ring walk. Go right ahead. Get all punch drunk in there, bro. I said I loved it that Anthony Joshua was in it. You have to get some work with AJ if he's on deck in Diddy James Furniture Store. Could that have been the fighter who injured Errol Spence's ribs? Because now you have content creators out here that's putting out that, first of all, he didn't spar the last 6 weeks of fight camp, which is untrue. And then to talk about he had a rib injury heading into that fight, and he got a shot the week of. He got approved for a shot. Now I want you medical experts, because I'm unqualified. This is outside my area of knowledge. Can anyone tell me what type of pain med that you can inject into a fighter that can take him through that when it comes to a rib injury? What could he do? Is it the same thing? Is it the one all, the universal, you know what I'm saying, remedy? Is it cortisone? What is it? What I don't know, man. This is outside my medical expertise. What can you shoot in your side? Where in your side? Where in your side? Did you inject the rib area? I mean, what side was injured, first of all? So he went in there with, supposedly, allegedly, a fucked up eye with cataracts and a rib situation that hasn't been proven. See, the reason why I say it haven't been proven, because Jamel Charlo, he hurt his hand and he had to go to the doctor. And I know that's a little bit different because, you know, he was not fighting. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to fight. He pulled out a fight. They wanted the doctors to know. As for this welterweight unification for Undisputed, this is quite different. This is alleged to go or to tie in to Fight Week when it comes to the commission and the NSAC. You know, this is where it all comes down to procedure, policies, and everything else that goes along with that shit, right? So what I was interpreting is that they may have known about this allegedly, that his eye was fucked up. You know, because I'm thinking, you know, those 2 years that Diddy James wasn't talking, did they go on another hiatus where Spence didn't tell him for 3 years that his eye was fucked up? That's why he keep getting slapped in the side of the head by Diddy. I'm just trying to damn put this all together. Like, I'm just trying to tie it all in. That's all. I'm just trying to solve the mystery. That's all I'm trying to do. Because I'm saying, what if he did have a rib injury from a heavyweight? Let's just give an example of that heavyweight from across the pond. They was doing body work rather than going up top. You know what I'm saying? They want to preserve, not reflecting or reciprocating what happened prior to when he had to pull out the Pacquiao fight. Maybe that's why they was going to the body as much as they could to get his condition, you know, and his ribs couldn't stand the pressure. Maybe that heavyweight was landing some pretty brutal shots to the body that Errol Spence shit was fucked up. I'm trying to help him out. I'm trying to, you know, because I did serve under the nation's colors. So as an American, sometimes I have to be neutral. I feel it's my due diligence to be neutral sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even though the percentage will fluctuate, sometimes my neutral grounds will be like 0.1% out of a million. And then, you know, some other, you know, expressions may be a little bit higher percentage. But all I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to do what Spence fans wouldn't do for him. I'm trying to come up with a reasonable conclusion as to why all these tweets are coming out. Him talking about that was the reason why he was hit with 50 jabs and hooks, which I'm going to go on record as saying this. Maybe those shots Crawford was landing to the dome, they didn't think he possessed that type of goddamn damage. You know what I'm saying? I think him and his fan base really believed that Crawford wasn't him. Seriously, I think they went in there believing he wasn't who played out in that fight. This may have been the worst. I mean, I'm talking about the absolute worst fight where an opponent underestimated how great his adversary was. We're talking about a pair of rivals that built up in the media that had me throwing a punch with each other over 5 years. And it built up very, very nicely in the welterweight division, so much to the point where it was talked about so much, people didn't think the fight was actually happening because nothing ever came from it except talk. Finally, we got the fight. Finally, we got the results. Finally, we get to see Errol Spence for what he is. He was bragging in Beverly Hills about living out of pocket and being him. Now tweets are out talking about, yeah, it was long overdue. I had that ass whooping coming in my sleep. I'm glad it finally got here. He beat my ass. I deserved it. But okay, I mean, who is there any way somebody can go over there to the ranch and leave a cup? Anybody does anybody have contact to VADA so y'all can go over there and just leave a cup? We need to get some information. We need some results. We need to find out what is in his bloodstream, why he's acting erratic. This is not common. This dude is going over here talking about Crawford whooped his ass, but yet and still you discredit him and saying the only reason he got off the way he did and had success is because your eye was fucked up. You had a rib injury, which you never proved any of it. The only thing we saw was him, being pushed in a goddamn Walmart freaking scooter. We don't know if that was a hospital or not. That could have just been a Walmart greeter pushing him out, and he said, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying? This is the perfect time to go on live. He had his team buy some medical tape over there, put that shit on there. I never saw no hospital sign. I never even seen the hospital, bro. I just seen Errol looking down at the live. Okay, what? I think maybe when he did the live, it was probably like 6 or 7 people in that motherfucker. He was waiting for it to fill up. He said, y'all don't love EJ? Y'all ain't got no love for EJ? Look, you know how petty I am? Spence had the same look he had on that recent live that he did when he went live in the parking lot. You remember when I did a live stream on his face looking down at the live stream? That's the exact same way he looked on the live, man. When he said I did 10 more minutes. And then she said, "You on live? Bruh." That's the same look he had on his face when he was looking down at his phone, bro. Shit don't make no MFing sense, man. Man, shout out to Mr. 214 on deck in the building. Man, I had to regather myself because somebody shot me a link of you roasting Julina. I had to regather and focus on my live stream because that shit was just too much laughter, bro. Damn. God damn. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. It don't make no sense the shit to be going on YTC. I say this shit is forever stopped, but go check that out, man. Shout out to IOTBA in the building. What's good with it, man? It's just a broken rib. What's going on, Hood Sports and Boxing? Salute to you. What you think about the guy that's selling I don't make excuses hoodies to come back with so many excuses? See, that's a good question. See, when you talk about merch, their hood sports and boxing, I told them they was fucking up anyway. Look, let me just paint this picture for you, that hood sports and boxing. Just imagine being in the hood, right? You in the hood with a hoodie on. And Spence pull up and he's trying to tell, and you know who he is. He's trying to jump out and say, hey, I just want to give y'all some free hoodies on smoking that bud pack. And you look at the motherfucking hoodie on the front of it, it's a fish that's smoking. Now you, I'm pretty sure, have been around life a long fucking time. And you understand what smoke does to a fish. I know you would have told him, excuse me, champ. Hold up, champ. Hold up. I don't have no problem with the hoodie. I like the color scheme on it, everything, you know, all that shit. But the designer, I just got a question about the designer of this shit. Did he think this shit through? How many people was in the room when he came up with this shit? So you said you Moby Dick. You said you Moby Dick, right? But you got the face of a shark on that bitch, and he's about to smoke and kill himself. So that's exactly what Errol Spence almost did when he got in there and fought Bud Crawford, and he found out he couldn't smoke and fight at the same time. I know you would have told him, champ, I'm gonna pass on this because it's sending a bad message, champ. It's sending a bad message. I cannot wear this on the block. I can't put this on. You got a fish on here smoking a bud pack? It's suicide, champ. It's suicide. What's wrong with you? Oh, man, I ain't trying to go into all that lecture shit, man. That's my designer. That's my homie, man. He came up with that shit. His middle name is Bud. Fish smoker. I don't give a fuck if it's Dud. Milk Dud, nigga. A fish cannot smoke and survive. Just like when he was giving you all those strap season and the shark was walking up the hallway and the last door was two eyes peeking out. That's supposed to be Bud. All you had to do was say, Bud, hey, champ, I bet you $100K. Because, hey, look, this is how petty WCS is, right? Hey, champ, I bet you $100K that you can't get a shark to walk 3 feet on his damn rear fins up a hallway out of water. We can bring him in on the back of a truck in a cooler and get him in the parking lot, but I bet you $100K, champ. Because, you know, the petty part about it, I see that Errol Spence got habits. Errol Spence sent out a tweet that was motherfucking saved when he deleted it and shit, right? And he said, I didn't spar with this person. I bet $100K. See, that's the same shit he did to Crawford when they met in Oklahoma. He limped in with a fucking $100K and it got him stumped on. He don't learn his lesson. You should have bet Errol Spence $100K and them antennas with a ding, ding, ding. Okay, we got a bet. So you trying to tell me you're going to get a shark to smoke a bud pack and walk his punk ass up the hallway out of water and still survive? Yep. Now, Errol, I ain't talking about no animated shit. I'm talking about a real shark. Okay. How the fuck this man supposed to be Moby Dick when you got the picture of a shark on your shirt, bro? Stop it, man. Stop it. This is uncalled for. This is uncalled for. This don't make any sense. I definitely got to post that comment up there for replay. Honestly, with EJ newest photo release, I've never read some of the dumbest comments across YouTube in my entire life. Oh, you want to hear some dumb comments? Okay, I'm glad you said that, Conquest. Shout out to Conquest. Let me go in here and give you an updated. This is why his fan base stay losing. They stay taking L's. Let me let you listen to this. Listen to this right quick. This is no editing at all.
You will postpone that shit as long as possible for somebody digging in your goddamn eye. You know what I'm saying? And then, it's no guarantee that, that the shit's going to be successful, because sometimes there's a possibility that, something could go wrong because you opening up your body to, different germs and things could go wrong, you know what I'm saying? So, black people, we don't like no damn surgery, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why he postponed it, but all of the hard negotiations, bro, you know what I'm saying? Crawford don't make it, he makes it so hard to fucking negotiate. You know what I'm saying? But EJ could have took that time. And I think what it is that he knew he wasn't going to be able to make 147. So this was his only opportunity to get it done, because he just didn't want to cut that weight like that. And this was the only time he was going to be able to do it and get that money, because I think he already knew he was done with that weight class, because he just...
What? What the fuck did I just waste my life listening to? He say black people don't like what? The hell we don't. The hell we don't. How old is you, man? How old is you, man? What in the hell did I just listen to, man? I'm talking about, bro, when I be taking out the motherfucking the segways sometimes, I taking out goddamn. Sometimes I just push kick through this bitch. I push kick through the damn YTC, and the shit that I roll up on. What did we just hear? We go from one subject to always Crawford negotiations. Now you trying to tell me you're not gonna hold this man accountable for stepping out the ring knowing he had a freaking eye situation 3 years ago, and you're not gonna hold him accountable for waiting to 2024 to have any type of surgery? No. I'll tell you what it is. It's because PBC got shit going on over there. That's why you ain't seen their fight card. That's why this fight ain't going down right now. Where's the fight card? Where's the fight schedule at? You know what I'm saying? All this impromptu talking about a freaking eye injury and placing and pointing fingers and trying to damn devalue Crawford's win. No. Fuck that, bro. You haven't produced any type of evidence. All you did last time when you pulled out the fight with Pacquiao was you came out with an eye patch and prove, hey, this is where I'm at right now. But if that same action of you living out of pocket has somehow fucked you up, where you having residual effects from that accidents, plural, it's your own fault. That's your culpability, champ. You can't be 3 months feeling vulnerable when you was up there on stage and bragging about, I lived out of pocket my whole life. That's what I do. You can't come up here expecting people to show you damn sympathy and shit for what happened to you on July 29th. No, you made it perfectly clear. You said, I lived out of pocket my whole life. You bragging and shit, letting people know. That's until Crawford put those motherfucking paws on your ass. I'm seriously. People sit up here, they won't even hit like on the channel, but they get mad at what I say. Like I don't even use excessive amount of freaking, profanity and what I'm saying, aspersions and all that, them tirades that go on where people say, he was dropping a laced live with obscenities. I want to remain anonymous. Please demonetize him ASAP. I will feel so much better. Demonetize him so he can go on about his business. I'm not even all the way into my mojo. I fucked around and listened to freaking TBA shit before I went live, which was a mistake. Because I was saying, damn, I need to goddamn push my shit to 10 o'clock. I need to listen to this twice. Especially the person he was cooking. Oh my God. Dude. Oh my God, man. That shit's funny, dog. MD, hey, appreciate that damn medical slip, man. Appreciate dropping that gem there, MD, on deck with it. Man, come on, dog. Shout out to Andrew Charles in the building, man. I see you on deck, bro. They had $1 million on the fight. Yeah, I can't forget that video. Bro, am I right or wrong, Andrew? Am I right or wrong, bro? Shout out to ILTBA, man. Am I right or wrong, Andrew? This dude is stuck on 100K. This dude said anybody that can produce a video of me sparring, 100K. When he was in goddamn face-to-face with Crawford, he said, let's bet 100K. He's stuck on 100K. He didn't learn that the 100K that he bet Crawford and he gave up before Crawford even threw a punch. You didn't learn from that? And after that, after you lost the coin toss and sitting up here, hey, you know, I gave him concessions. And then you had this dude up here whining. I'm pretty sure y'all know who that dude is. He up here whining Crawford just so hard to negotiate. No. It's called business. If you have people up here talking about boxing as a business, why are they complaining about Crawford being a tough negotiator? Who's gonna pay their bills when they tie these gloves up and leave the sport? It's not gonna be none of you content creators. You're not gonna say, I wanna first of all come to you in a much more deeper sense of gratitude. I really need y'all support in raising money for Errol Spence. You know the same one we used to support 20 years ago? Yeah, he's falling on hard times. We really need for you to bring in those super chats. And I'm gonna split the money because I need some freaking goddamn cough medicine myself. I'm much older than I am now. You know, back then when I used to talk about this shit and talk my shit, but I'm much older now. So whatever money you can raise for him, you're not going to pay his fucking bills, bro. You're not going to pay Spence bills. So if Crawford wanted to negotiate, if Spence wanted to negotiate, and Spence gave him the goddamn $1 million that they bet before they even threw a punch, then you have to ask yourself, WHY? How was Crawford able to get these guys to act like Spence didn't say he was living out of pocket? Now look, you gotta understand, this was done before the fight. So Spence have no idea how dangerous of a boxer Crawford is. So for him to agree to the concessions, what happened? Did they meet in the bathroom, parking lot, a Target? What happened where Crawford had to get all these concessions? And you're blaming Crawford as if he strong-armed Spence to give him the concessions. What the fuck? What the fuck? They had $1 million on the fight. Come on, man. You know it, man. What's going on? Big Blunts and Boxing in the good with it, bro. Bruce Gaz, Boxing Jazz and more, the OG in the building. What's good with it, Bruce? Bill's Boot Camp on deck. What's good? He used to call Crawford a bitch and coward, all kinds of shit. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that was said. And that's why it's so easy to hold these cats accountable because, you know, I heard, you know, Julina, and I've mentioned this before, and y'all make sure y'all check out that barbecue. I don't know what the fuck to call it. That shit was like a cremation. Y'all check out the barbecue over there. The ILTBA was talking about that guy, Julina. But I remember when this guy just recently said he don't have a problem with him about him being a family man and all that. But yet him and his compadres, all they did was get personal with Crawford all the way up to the fight, right? Then they didn't get the result. They automatically went on camera crying foul, talking about he was a cheater. He had something going on with him. It was loaded gloves, freaking goddamn, Errol Spence was freaking weight drained and all this shit. I'm talking about personal shit, right? And then they start running a smear campaign talking about he was a drug cheat. Last time I checked, if a person that is a celebrity like Spence and Crawford, the people know them. They know them. And you say some shit about being a drug cheat, it's going to be some casual boxing fans out there that believe your shit. They're going to say, is that true? They say he was on drugs. Is that true? But see, he never had anything come out like Arthur Beterbiev, right? He never had anything. Beterbiev actually came back with an atypical finding, but they ain't talking about that. But they wanted to target Crawford and say he was a dirty fighter. He's going over there on a snack program and he's getting extra needed enhancement to go out there and win. And the last time I checked, I never heard a fighter improving their skill set from being on performance enhancing drugs. I never heard a fighter just get reborn. All you had to do is do an injection here and there, and you're the perfect boxer. Nah, never heard that shit. Never heard that shit, bro. Never heard it at all. I'm just saying, I don't. It's not for me to understand why his fans. I know some of them have felt some type of way about him coming out like that, but if you just look at how stupid it looks for him, he gets mad at average civilians. Some of these being consumers. Usually consumers will take the approach to address a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Especially if one of those consumers happen to be a content creator. If a content creator, which is a consumer, approaches you, Errol Spence, when you finally make your reappearance and you go up here and you're in front of the lens and they have access to ask you questions about July 29th, the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. But let's just say they do. And they say, Errol, I remember the lead up to that fight. They're going to remind you of what you said in the presser. And then they're going to remind you of the tweets that you put out. And then they're going to ask you, did Crawford humble you? What are you going to do? Oh, this is where I got my attorneys on standby. This is where I got my attorneys on standby. I don't think that's going to work. 3 months after the fight, you couldn't walk your ass into a clinic and get that eye checked out so we can get this rematch? But yet you was on standby like you was a part of the freaking hit squad, the suicide squad. If anybody, I'm talking about anybody, I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out, goddammit. Anybody even look my way and say some dumb shit outside of their face, I'm crashing out, nigga. It's time. It's time, man. Fuck, especially if it's a Crawford fan. Oh, man, I'm crashing out. Who is he going to be? Who said something, huh? No, matter of fact, let's go to one of the goddamn hoods. Let's go to the hood. I know I got some niggas over there that want to get these hands. They get beat up all day, every day. Let's go over there and fuck with them. I wish a nigga would tonight. I'm crashing out. You know what I'm saying? How can you be vulnerable for 3 months after the fight? You know what? I don't want to continue telling you all that Spence ain't behind this shit. But he's probably right there laying on the bed looking up at the ceiling while that person is typing this bullshit. I'm serious. Because I've come acquainted with his rhythm, his cadence, and his language. Certain words he use and don't use. You know what I'm saying? I've come acquainted, just like when him and Crawford was going back and forth in 2022, when the initial negotiations fell apart and they start finger pointing, it was some verbal sparring back and forth, social media jabs going, right? I said, this is not Spence. This is somebody on his team putting all this shit on him. Spence ain't writing all this shit up. Spence ain't spelling vulnerable. He's not spelling vulnerable. Scooby, Shaggy. He's not doing that. Now, one thing that was familiar was I was waiting for someone in public to say something out of pocket in front of me. See, his out of pocket, that's him. He loved using that. But that doesn't mean he typed it. If somebody stay around you long enough, they get used to certain words that you repeat over and over again. You remediate this context. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. The week of the fight, I got cleared for a shot in my side. Excuses, excuses, excuses. I swear to God. But remember, y'all, this was the one that lit the fire. This is a whole different Errol Spence after the accident when he said, "No broken bones, I'm a savage, nigga." That's what Errol Spence to why you think I got hit with so many jabs and hooks. Still a great performance by bro. What happened to no broken bones, I'm a savage? I for the Cataracts, I still attack. What happened to that mentality, that mentality that you got? You trying to tell me you couldn't go in there with an eye full of cataracts, man? Because you chose not to go to the freaking doctor and get it checked out right after the fight. So let's just look at it this way, Spence. If you were supposed to fight Crawford in December of 2023, right? That's what we was all hoping for. But due to Crawford being a bit selfish and beating your ass, that went away. So pretty much they was talking to you after the fight immediately, and they was asking everything okay. You had to get a checkup and all that. If you felt that 50 jabs and 50 hooks was a direct result of your eye being fucked up, all you had to do was say, "Hey, I need to go to the doctor next week, get this eye looked up and get it fixed." You didn't get it looked at because it's not a problem, bro. There's no way that you had an existing eye full of cataracts, as you call it, a cloud cover on your eye, and you just waited, and then 2024. No, this was predetermined. This was premeditated. Everybody's been asking about this fight over and over and over and over again, and it's not your freaking eye, bro. It's because we haven't seen no PBC goddamn fight card come out yet. We haven't seen no schedule yet. Some of your bigger names, thumbs down. Nobody's looking for Jamel Charlo, Mr. I want to punch a female in the eye and for her to be a regular woman when she make a phone call on her. Come on now. They're not looking for Jamel Charlo, the domestic bully. They're not looking for EJ. They don't want to see the fight with him and Crawford. So that's two of their top names right there. Gervonta, he's not signed with PBC, but he is sort of, kind of, whatever. So they're still trying to match him up. That's the biggest name they got over there. Period. What about Jamal Charlo? We looking forward to seeing Jamal. We don't have no fight schedule, though. He said he was going to be back in March. Where's the fight schedule? Where's the fight schedule so we can get ONE FC? They're already with Amazon Prime. They've been rocking and rolling for 2 years now. Where's PBC schedule? It's a lot more deeper shit going on than y'all think now. So shout out to everyone who pulled up, man. Always remember, it's just boxing talk. We can't erase the history. We can't erase this right here. You know what I'm saying? Just to think. Just to think when he released this, Crawford had just punched him in his right eye. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't say I didn't see Crawford punch him in his right eye, but there's nothing wrong with his eye, man. It was just accuracy and target practice and proper planning by Crawford. I'm gonna leave this up there so it can marinate with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I want y'all to pay attention to that net that's on Crawford freaking trunks, because not only did it net Moby Dick, it netted a shark too, and all the minnows that was swimming around it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got a good load out there. They was able to have a damn good fish fry. I ain't gonna lie. But y'all hold that shit down, man. Continue to support the channel. I'm out. Peace.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Fucking slow for you, alright? You get a chance, counter that fucking jab over the fucking top. Sometimes turn that jab into a hook, alright? You don't have nothing left. You keep me to stay on the inside. Catch and counter.